you're, I suppose, involved in the protest in Ardee this coming Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Can you just tell us briefly about why are you protesting and why should people get out there and support you?
So basically, why we're protesting because the Fairdia Arms building in Ardee, it's being used to house beneficiaries of temporary accommodation, and it happened quietly without any real communication to the people living here. We already have Satanta House operating as an accommodation centre and now another building. Ardee is a small town. Like having two accommodation centres of this scale within walking distance of each other, like it just doesn't feel right. Like it's causing serious concerns among locals. That's why we're protesting. Like that building could have been used for something entirely different, something that could have actually benefit the town. Like we already lost a Tanta B&B. It was a public B&B and it's shut off from the public. And like you can see for yourself online, it's listed now as permanently closed. Like Fairdia Arms could have been brought back as a pub and restaurant like it once was. That would have created jobs, it would have boosted the local economy and brought back a bit of life back into the town. Like it's heartbreaking to see another building, another part of Ardee gone to the same purpose. And you know, the developers of the building have stated that as a privately owned company, they were under no legal obligation to hold public meetings. They say that they fulfill transparency by following planning procedures, putting up a site notice, advertising in the paper, and allowing for a 6 week objection window. Like, this isn't about legal obligations, it's about respect for the community, for the people of Ardee. Like people felt completely blindsided, not because procedures weren't technically followed, but because none of that translated into proper community engagement. Like a simple leaflet dropped to local homes explaining what was happening, who the building was intended to house, um, and like how to raise questions. Like that's all it would have taken to give people a fair chance to understand what was going on. So like that's why we're protesting, because it's not right for the people of Ardee to be dealing with a centre that's already there and now for another one to come in such a small town.
Yeah, and what's the feeling among the people in Ardee? The locals, are they happy or they don't mind, or like are people up in arms? And what's about this protest on Saturday? What kind of feedback are you getting? Do you think you have much of a crowd?
Well, I do think now, it's hard to judge. I won't know until the actual evening itself, but I am hoping for a good turnout. Like people feel uneasy, like they're fed up, there's confusion, there's worry, there's anger, and all of those feelings are valid. Because when something like this is being done, like of course people are going to feel that way. And like I took it upon myself to do this because like I'm not a politician of any sort. I'm just a concerned citizen of Ardee, a mother of two who cares deeply about the town that my children are growing up in. Like I want to be able to say that I stood up and spoke out when things didn't feel right, not just for me now, but for every local family that feels unheard. Like people are just sick of what's going on, especially when decisions like these are just made, they're quietly made, and then the people of Ardee have to deal with the consequences in the long run. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. No, fair play for having the courage and the guts to stand up and call this protest. I know it's not easy, and I'm sure you're not politically involved anywhere, so it takes a lot of courage and bravery to do that. I wonder,
yeah.
where's all the men from Ardee? Are they not getting involved in helping you out?
Um, that is no, there is a good few. Like I've personally like like family members, they've helped me out with this. Like there is quite it's kind of a hard question to answer, to be honest. I do personally feel like a lot of women are speaking up in today's society towards all of this. Like I don't want to put down men at all, but like I just feel personally like there's a lot of women speaking up now in towards this. And like I'm sure there will be a lot of men attending this protest now in RD. So that's all I really have to say on that one now.
Right, no, I understand. I was just wondering because a lot of these protests there seem to be spearheaded by women, and now there's the women that are standing up. I'm trying to call out the men to stand up and help out yours. The men are supposed to be the protectors, so just
Yeah.
a wee mention or a wee nudge to the men to get up and get involved. So look, the protest is this coming Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Where exactly is it being held? And can you just encourage people to get? I'm encouraging people to get out there and support you. And no matter where you're from, get out there and support the people of Ardee. If you're from the surrounding areas, get out there, support them. 7:30, the Fairview Green, is it?
It's happening on the 14th of June, starting at 7:30, starting at the Fair Green Park,
Fair
and
Green
then
Park.
we will peacefully march up towards the chapel in Ardee. So going from one end of the town to the other.
Okay, brilliant. So look, that's fantastic. Hopefully we'll get a good crowd on Saturday. I'm hoping to be there. I can't promise anything, but I'm planning to be there. God willing. So I suppose thanks very much for coming on, and you're very brave, and hopefully we get a good turnout now on Saturday. And
Can I just say one thing I'd like to address
yeah, yeah,
also before this is finished.
go for it.
I'd just like to also say, like, I just want to clarify something that was said by Allison Common on LMFM today. She said that Satanta House was being picketed and protested over the weekend. Like, that's not true. It's about the Fairdia Arms building. Um, like,
Who is
it
that? Is that
just
a Fianna Fáil senator? Is it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Right. Okay.
She said that there is a lot of speculation and misinformation been spread online about the Satanta B&B. Now, that is misinformation on her behalf.
What's her name there? I'll bring up I know the poster on, but what's her name? Sorry.
Allison Common,
Allison Common.
or
Okay.
Common, I'm not entirely sure on the
Commons. Okay.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
But like Satanta, I know the protest is about the Fairdia Arms. But for a politician to come out and say that there is speculation and misinformation and rumours going about Satanta B&B, that's completely untrue. Like Roderick O'Gorman, who was Minister for Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth up until January 2025, officially confirmed in a written parliamentary response that currently 3 properties in County Louth being utilised by the International Protection Accommodation Service under his department. Now, one of those 3 properties was named as Satanta B&B in Ardee. So for anyone claiming that Satanta is just a private B&B and not an IPAS centre, that's simply not true. The confirmation came directly from the department responsible for integration at the time under Minister O'Gorman. And now Norma Foley is now the Minister of Children, Equality, Disability, Integration and Youth. Now, whether anything has changed under her leadership in terms of the status of Satanta B&B, it hasn't been made clear. So as far as the public can see, nothing has changed. Satanta B&B is still operating as an IPAS accommodation. No one's disputing the fact that it's privately owned. But what the thing actually, it is an IPAS centre. Like, only in recent weeks, a serious incident where a man was seen hanging off a light fitting. Now, this light fitting is right up beside the roof. So dangerous. So dangerous what he was doing. And he was just sat there on the light fitting outside the premises. That's what the public saw. Everybody saw it. And like, also, Gardaí have already been called out to that same property beforehand for other reasons that the people are not, like, we don't know why, but to the public eye, we could see them that they were there a numerous amount of times. So for anyone to try and tell us, the people of Ardee, that it's not been used as an IPAS centre, the reality on the ground tells a completely different
Yeah.
story.
Look, I have her post here. Alison Common is with Drogheda Leader. Do you want me to read out what she said in her post? Maybe you could debunk what her misinformation.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is. Let me share the screen, right? Well, let me zoom in a wee bit here so you can all see. So this is Alison Common. She's a Fianna Fáil senator. Yeah, Fianna Fáil senator. Right. Let me zoom in. So she says on Facebook there have been rumours for weeks that up to 13 asylum seekers accommodation IPAS units were opened in Drogheda town centre. So I have written to the department to get the accurate information. Also, feel free to jump in whenever you think is necessary.
Yeah.
The department has previously asked an offer of potential accommodation for people seeking international protection at the following properties, and they are no longer under consideration: 27 Lawrence Street, 29 Lawrence Street, 48 Fair Street, 98, 99 West Street, 83 West Street, Air House, Dunour Road, Silver Wings, Monaster Boyce. And the department has received no offer in respect to the following properties and are not examining them for use: 14 Fair Street, Mayor Alty Mills, Satanta House, Ardee. The following properties are in use, providing temporary accommodation for people fleeing the conflict in Ukraine who are beneficiaries of temporary protection: Bertrand's Quay, North Quay, 9 Shop Street, Drogheda. The department is providing temporary shelter for people applying for international protection at the D Hotel, Marsh Road, Drogheda. This false and negative narrative does nothing for the morale of the town or for our investment prospects, and whilst there is nothing stopping individuals from applying to house the IPAS asylum seekers, not every building will be or has been accepted by the department. So, what do you think of that?
Well, personally, I can't speak for Drogheda or any of the other places that she has mentioned. I know I can only speak for Satanta B&B, and like it's not negative comments, it's reality for the people of Ardee. Like that place has been running as an iPass centre since 2019. And not really, like people didn't really know about that until of recent. Like people were made aware of it possibly a year ago, but from 2019, I can tell you now, people did not know that was an iPass centre in 2019. Now there mightn't have been many people there, but like I've seen it with my own eyes in terms of like anti-social behavior as well. Like I've seen it with my own eyes. The likes of people that are loitering around that B&B. Like for example, there was one time in particular I was walking down by Ash Walk. Now it's at the side of Satanta B&B. It's heading towards Super Value, say. And like there's also apartments there that I think are also housing, asylum seekers. And basically, from my own personal experience, sorry, it's okay. Shh, shh, shh. Sorry, my
That's all right. Don't worry about it. It's important
um
for our patrons to be having children, so it's great to hear the young
yeah.
children.
Yeah. But basically, in a nutshell, there was three men loitering, smoking fags, and I was going down the town with the double buggy and my sister, and they basically were staring at me, smirking at me, saying things in their own language, and I didn't like that. It made me feel so uncomfortable to the point where I was like, nah, just walk away, walk away. So, it's just, it's a very tricky topic to talk about because you can be labeled as racist, bigot,
Yeah, but who cares? Isn't time like we don't
Yeah,
have time to be worrying what names they call us. So what? Let them call them whatever names they want. They
yeah.
call us these names so we don't protest or we don't speak out. That's the reason
I'm
they call
sorry
us
about
names.
that. They're just
No,
they're
don't
just
worry about
arguing
it.
about a toy.
No, that's great to hear the children playing in the background. It means that we're, like I always talk about Irish people and Irish women, men and women need to have more children. We're not having enough children, so it's great that
Yeah,
you're having children.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sorry, it's a bit chaotic here.
No,
They're
it's all
just
right. So, is there anything
arguing
else
over
now
a
you would
toy.
like to say about the protest on Saturday? Like, I'll just say again, look, get out there and support the people of Ardee. Half seven, that's coming Saturday. Get out there and be counted.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the more the merrier. It's about people coming together for the right reasons. It's going to be a peaceful gathering, a peaceful march up. Like people are sick and tired of not being heard. Do you know what I mean? Like it's something has to be done in relation to all this. It's not fair for basically every rural town to be just planted with these iPass centers, and quietly done. I'm not a racist person, but I know in my heart that doesn't feel right about what's happening.
Yeah, but like my advice to you, never ever say that. Never apologize. Never ever say, "Oh, I'm not this," because you're. When you say that, you're taking a step back. Never apologize for wanting to live among your own people. Never apologize for loving your own people. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to, preface what you're going to say with, "Oh, but I'm not this." Look, I just do whatever you want, but that's my advice because
Yeah.
the people who are trying to stop us protesting, who are trying to destroy this country, they want us saying that because they said themselves, "We love it when these." People who oppose immigration say, "Oh, but I'm not this." They want us to say that. That means we're on the defense. You need to go on the attack all the time. You'll never hear me saying that. Ever hear me
Yeah.
saying that? Okay, but look, you're very brave for coming on. I'm very grateful, and hopefully we'll see you Saturday. And hopefully the people of Ardee get out there and back you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. As I said, the more the merrier. I think it is going to be a good turnout, weather permitting. Obviously, if it's torrential rain, I will have to postpone because I don't expect people to come out in lashing rain where we're going to get soaked. So I'll pray to the rain gods that, stay away, because like this needs to happen,
Absolutely, no,
So
100%. Look, we'll say a prayer to St Oliver Plunkett, and hopefully the rain stays away for the protest.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
God bless you, right? We'll speak to you on Saturday.
Brilliant. Thanks a million, Niall.
No
Thank
bar.
you.
Bye, bye, bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
My name is Niall McConnell. I'm the leader of Shield na HÉireann, Ireland's fastest growing Christian nationalist movement in the whole island of Ireland, and we need you to join our movement now. We are spearheading the campaign against the mass immigration invasion into Ireland. Scroll down below this video, click the link in the description, or click the link in the bio to join as a member. You can join from anywhere in the world: Ireland, the UK, Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand. No matter where you are from, join as a member now. What do you get if you join as a member? You get this beautiful lapel badge, you get this Who We Are booklet, you get this framed proclamation, you get the Irish tricolour flag, and much more. Scroll down below this video, click the link now, join as a member now. Ireland needs you. Join the fight back. Stop the mass immigration invasion now. God bless you all, and God save Ireland.